Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Fan Appreciation Month here on Reaction and Review. Tonight, guys, I'm covering something which is a first for this series. For you see, tonight's film was an Academy Award nominee. I don't think I've covered anything else that was ever up for an Oscar. I know I've covered a bunch of stuff that was up for Razzies. I know I've covered stuff that's won Razzies. But I don't think I've ever covered anything that was ever even thought of as a possible Oscar nominee. And the category this film was nominated for was Best Foreign Language Film. The film is Downfall. Now, some of you might have actually heard of this film at one point, because there was an internet meme that was it was a pretty like popular one a while ago. I think it was like a year and a half ago or 2 years ago, something along those lines, where people were taking a single scene from this film and they were putting in new subtitles in order to make it, I guess, funny. But it wasn't funny, it was actually kind of stupid. And the only good that came out of those mountains of videos was, well, I became interested in seeing if this thing was actually any good. And, well, since this is Fan Appreciation Month, it's pretty obvious where I got this. I got it off the wish list. A viewer sent it in, and I will do the customary shout out when the movie's done. But, yeah, I've been really curious about this one. I'm very happy I finally get my chance. And I am really hoping for the absolute best on this one. So, without further ado, it's time to kick back, relax, and check out Downfall. Oh yeah, I actually kinda sort of fucking got that. Hitler had this lunatic dream of building this massive mega capital. I also did not know that he would seem happy about his cities being bombed because it would make getting fucking rid of all the buildings easier. And yet still, that is almost totally logical in a warped and disturbing sort of way. Then again, we are talking about Hitler. I guess actually warped and disturbing are kind of par for the course. Okay. I believe I can now officially say this. Ava was probably as nuts, if not even more so, than Hitler was. I never thought I could have sworn that out of everybody who was part of the, Reich, I always thought that Hitler was, like, the looniest out of all of them, but if this movie is anything to follow, yeah, his fucking wife was just as bonkers. That's almost frightening. Well, folks, again, if this film is anything to work off of, I believe I know truly why Germany lost World War II. They lost because nobody was actually on the same goddamn page. I have been watching this, guys, and the only thing I've seen is constant bickering, arguing, lying, deceiving, and, treason from every single high-ranking officer. There's no way in hell they actually could have won this, that they could have won this war or any war if that was how their highest-ranking officers were acting. Wow. Okay, guys. I just saw a scene of some guy having a limb amputated. Amputated is actually kind of a nice way of saying it. Was very slowly sawed off with a hacksaw. In this film, that's probably the most disgusting thing I have seen yet. And wow, it actually is almost turning my stomach just thinking about it. Ooh. Guys, I would just like to say right now, I find it almost frightening that even when all hope is lost, everyone is sitting in a bunker in what used to be Berlin, and they're still, and a lot of them are still clinging on to hope, man. When frankly, everybody who had any semblance of sense ran long ago. So now it's basically Hitler and every last person who he had essentially brainwashed into believing his goofy ass fucking delusions. It really is kind of frightening to know that a person could have that much power and have that many followers when everything is looking this dire. It's really sort of creepy. My God. That was probably one of the most depressing things I've ever seen in any film ever. Holy shit, I'm speechless by what I just saw. I just saw I just saw one of Hitler's higher ranking boys just go and kill off his entire family because they weren't allowed to leave the city. It probably doesn't sound like much, but god damn it, the scene was powerful as hell, man. You know, guys, you have probably picked up on this with everything I've said so far, but this movie is ridiculously depressing, man. I mean, like, you would almost hope that there'd be like some light at the end of this tunnel, but there isn't. I don't know why the hell I am expecting that when I already know how it's gonna fucking end. But I was sort of hoping for at least some bright glimmer of something, but no. This film gets more and more tragically sad with every passing scene, dude, and it's really beginning to get to me. How the hell is this even possible? Guys, this movie just killed Adolf Hitler, and you feel sorry about it. Jesus Christ, I feel sympathetic towards Adolf motherfucking Hitler. What the fuck is this movie doing to me, man? Okay, guys. I understand this is going to be a really nitpicky thing to mention, but this has to do with the subtitles. All right. Apparently, I know that the phrase is "the die is cast." It's a very well-known phrase. The subtitle said the dice is cast. Fantastic movie so far. And the story is really compelling. But god damn it, couldn't they have double checked that? I mean, I understand, yeah, it's petty, it's trivial, but fucking A, it's bothering me a little. Well, that was Downfall. Wow, let's just shut that off. Holy shit. I'd like to say right now, guys, that out of all the movies I've seen in this series, this one is quite possibly the most powerful one I've seen. Because you know it's based on fact. You know damn near everything that happened in this movie, was said in this movie, could easily be corroborated. You know damn well it happened. You know good and goddamn well every bit of this happened. I think that's what makes it all the more depressing. And, allow me, guys, to sort of take you through this for just a moment. I would like to say, first of all, that I don't care what your personal views are in terms of Adolf Hitler or the, like Nazi Party or any of this other goofy bullshit. When you watch this movie, you are going to feel sympathetic for a good chunk of the cast, including Hitler, which that one still sort of floored me. Because I know, and I have a strong feeling all of you know, exactly what kind of a monster Hitler was. The fact that this movie was able to at least take his last moments and just showing how everything was just crumbling, was just crumbling around him, and he suffered one of the biggest nervous breakdowns I've ever seen. That and then you feel sorry for him. Guys, that is the sign of a fantastic filmmaker. A filmmaker who can take one of the most hated and evil motherfuckers to ever walk the earth and make them in some way sympathetic without making their actions seem justified, or that is accomplishing a lot. Because guys, anyone will sit down and they will watch this, and they all know about the shit that Hitler did. All right, and I'm talking about the concentration camps. I'm talking about everything else that monster did. But you watch this, and you watch as those nearest to him were essentially leading to the fall of his mighty empire, at least mighty in his eyes. You know, and you just see him as the cracks begin to show on his psyche, and you just watch the guy fall apart. You are going to feel horrible for him, and you feel even worse for every single innocent person you see in this film who is traumatized or killed. I'm talking about every single man, woman, and child who are all civilians. This movie is going to make you feel sorrow, the likes of which you may never have felt watching a movie. I'm going to tell you guys, if you can get through Downfall, all 2.5 hours of it, and not feel sorry, sympathetic, sad, or depressed about anything you see, you don't have a soul. There is no way in hell you can sit through this and not feel something. I'm really curious exactly what the fuck this thing lost to for the Oscar for Best Foreign Language Film. Because I don't think anything from 2004 could top this. Be it foreign language, English, or any other sort of thing. No, there's no way. This thing should probably have been nominated for Best Picture of 2004. This was one of the best movies I have ever seen. It's, Jesus Christ, guys. I was really fearing that this film was going to be dry and it was gonna suck. But no. It is a very powerful movie. And I haven't even touched on the acting yet. I basically have just been telling you about the writing without even mentioning writing. But let's cover the acting for just a minute. It's one thing when you turn in a passable performance. It's also another thing when you turn in something which is sort of hammy or is like really wooden. But it's another thing when you inject as much life as physically possible into the role you are playing, where you no longer see these people as actors, you see them as the character they are portraying. That, my friends, is the sign of good acting. This film is nothing but that. The music, what very, very little is there, is fantastic. It is great. Everything, guys, about this movie was good, and the only complaint I came up with was one fucking grammatical error in the subtitles. Think about that for just a sec. I watched this film, it had me on the verge of tears at times, and the only negative I found was one fuck up in the subtitles. Guys, I am speechless by that. Because I really thought I would be able to just rip into something else. But no. My one complaint is one bit in the subtitles which says the fucking dice is cast, which makes no sense no matter how you cut it. Because first of all, the phrase is the die is cast, because dice is the plural of die. And also, even if he meant to say dice, it would be the dice are cast. Again, I'm bitching about something in the fucking subtitles. That is how desperate I'm clinging for finding a negative in this thing. Holy shit, guys. If you've never seen this movie, if you've never seen Downfall, look for it. You can find it pretty much anywhere. I'm going to assume you can get it on Netflix. I know for a fact you can get it on DVD. You can probably find it on Blu-ray. If you and if you're using any other service, something like, I don't know, let's say Vudu or something, look for it. It almost has to be there. You must watch this movie. And as I stated, if you feel nothing for anybody or anything in this movie, by the time the end credits are rolling, I question look at that. I question the fact that you have a soul. There we go. Wow, I actually am kind of surprised I got stuck on that one. Doesn't matter. Now, before I happen to forget, Downfall came off of the Amazon wish list. This gem was sent in by a friend of mine, and his name is Niall. You can find his YouTube channel at Dr. Studio Man Tonic. By all means, guys, swing over there and take a look at everything he has, because really, he actually makes some pretty interesting stuff if you're a fan of YouTube poops. I believe, actually, that's what he's still making. And some of them are genuinely good, and that is coming from a guy who doesn't like YouTube poop. So, anyway, guys, that is Downfall. Wow. And after watching that, I feel a little bit more depressed. But then again, after watching this, I really don't think anybody could feel anything but depressed. Anyway, guys, with that, we come to the close of another reaction and review. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care, and I will see you all in the near future. Peace.